It's that time again. But at least it's over now. Time to review Money in the Bank. But before we get started, here's the usual word on the sponsor, Game Beauty. As you continue to watch and enjoy Blitzball Champ gaming content here on the U to the Tube, be sure to check out the link in the description for Game Beauty, our sponsor. For an awesome lineup of video game themed makeup and cosmetic products, here is Game Beauty. They offer many different collections such as eyeshadow palettes, elemental pearl highlighters, and even this special Persona 5 Royal limited edition makeup collection. They also have free domestic and international shipping to most countries for orders over $60. And you can use the promo code BlitzballChamp and you get 10% off of your order for any and all purchases. So be sure to check out Game Beauty when you have an opportunity. Now, we shall return back to our regularly scheduled video. Enjoy. Alright, let's get this over with so I can get to bigger and better things. Money in the Bank 2023 in London, England. Started off with the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. You had competitors Shinsuke Nakamura, Damian Priest, Logan Paul, LA Knight, Santos Escobar, Ricochet, and Butch. The only two things I will say is that was a scary spot on the Spanish fly off the rope with Ricochet and Logan Paul, because it looked like both of them landed on their head on the table and only one of the tables broke. But hopefully they're okay, because that was a nasty spot. But Damian Priest ended up winning the Money in the Bank. Like I said, it didn't matter who won. The Money in the Bank concept is trash. Moving on. Next up, you had the women's tag team title match, where you had Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, the champs, defending against Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. The match was meh, but I will say, a big shocker happened. Pretty much the champs had the challengers, had Liv right where they wanted her. Ronda tagged in. Raquel was disposed of already. And then just out of nowhere, Shayna comes in and attacks Ronda from behind, gives her a ground and pound, and then puts her in the Kirifuda clutch. Then after she's pretty much out, Shayna leaves. Raquel and Liv finish her off with a Tejana bomb, followed by an Oblivion. 1, 2, 3. Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan are once again WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. You know what's really, really dumb about this? This reminds me of Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade all over again. Remember when they won the tag titles, the NXT tag titles? And Cora turned on Roxanne right afterwards? This is deja vu all over again. Shayna and Ronda literally not that long ago just won a title unification match over Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. And then they're going to turn around and have Shayna turn on Ronda. that really makes no sense. If that was the case, why even put the titles on them in the first place? Like, or don't do the turn so soon. They did that turn way too soon. But I guess the whole idea was to get the titles back on Raquel and Liv, since Liv returned from injury. But my whole thing was, why not just have Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn do that? Like, just, it looks so sloppy and out of order. And, you know, once again, the tag titles, hot potatoed. But it sounded like they were cheering for Shayna after she turned on Ronda. Didn't see that coming, but guess that was one interesting surprise. Just the timing of it doesn't make sense to me personally. But we'll see how that feud goes. Next up, we had the Intercontinental Championship on the line as Gunther, the champion, defended against Matt Riddle. Match was okay. Gunther ended up getting a submission victory. I did not expect him to get a submission victory, but I mean, once he got that ankle hold, that heel hook on the injured, taped up ankle and heel of Riddle, pretty much had no choice but to tap out. He tried. And then after the match, a returning Drew McIntyre showed up, got in the ring with Gunther. Gunther shoved Drew McIntyre, gave him a Glasgow kiss, followed up with a Claymore. So, looks like Drew's interested in that Intercontinental Championship that Gunther is holding. And hey, I think it's safe to say that Drew McIntyre might just be staying with the WWE. Maybe they worked out his contract, gave him an extension, and it looks like he's staying. That's what it looks like, but we'll see. Next up, had Cody Rhodes versus Dominik Mysterio, which, thank God this was not the main event, like Michael Cole said, because this would have been a trashy main event. The match was but the right outcome happened. Cody Rhodes defeated Dominik Mysterio, so that's all that really matters. They had a segment with John Cena making an appearance, hyping up the crowd. It looks like the whole idea was to pitch for a future WrestleMania to come to London, England. So, hey, I don't know if they mean for next year, or actually next year I think is going to be in Philadelphia, but they're looking like a future WrestleMania may be coming to London, England, which would be pretty big. Grayson Waller came out. He vouches that it should be in Australia, and they kind of go back and forth, and John Cena eventually takes him out with an attitude adjustment. But, moving on. Then we had the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. We had Zelina Vega, Bayley, Trish Stratus, Io Sky, and Zoey Stark. Oh, and Becky Lynch. Only thing I will say was that was actually a pretty neat spot at the end, with the ending of the match, with Io using the handcuffed Becky Lynch and cuffing the other end to Bayley on the ladder. And then Io Sky eventually climbs up, grabs the briefcase. But, like I said, it wouldn't have mattered who won this match. The same stupid, cheap cash-in stipulation is going to happen. Because Money in the Bank, that whole concept, sucks. It's never been good. Now, some may say that she may cash in on Asuka or whatnot, or she's aiming for Asuka. But like I said, it's going to be lame if she does a cheap cash-in. She doesn't need to do a cheap cash-in. So, like I said, it really doesn't matter because the whole concept is dumb. Anyway, moving on. We had the World Heavyweight Championship match. Seth freaking Rollins defended against Finn Balor. Good match for the most part. Damian Priest did eventually come out, and it looked like he was kind of teasing the idea of cashing in. And for a while, Seth Rollins was down. Looked like Finn was going to hit the coup de grace, but Damian Priest got up, which kind of triggered Finn's attention toward him like he was about to do something. And that distraction pretty much turned the tide to the point where Finn Balor rolled out of the way of the stomp of the coup de grace. And then Seth Rollins was able to capitalize, hitting him with a curb stomp, covering Finn for the 1-2-3. Seth Rollins, still your World Heavyweight Champion. And then there was some arguing after the match between Finn and Damian. So, looks like more fuel for the fire towards Judgment Day, which looks like they may be splitting up. But I definitely saw the tease of a cash-in. But it didn't happen. And then the main event of Money in the Bank was the Bloodline Civil War. Came down to the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, tag team match against Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns. Two main things with this match. You definitely could see Solo was kind of conflicted, being that, he had to go up against his two older brothers. But this was pretty much the big moment of the entire premium live event. For the first time in 3.5 years, Roman Reigns has finally been pinned. Took a couple of super kicks, a double super kick, and one more Uso splash. Jey Uso makes the cover, 1-2-3, and Roman Reigns has been pinned for the first time in 3.5 years. The Usos take the main event, and you know what? The only thing I could say is now that it's happened, now hopefully they'll figure out who they're going to use to take the title off of Roman. Because I highly doubt that it's going to be Damian Priest cashing in on him. I think he's still going to cash in on Seth Rollins or whoever going for that World Heavyweight Championship. But I think Io is going to cash in on Asuka. But that's just me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, folks got to understand where I'm coming from. I'm not saying that a lot of these matches, like, by default, are terrible. I mean, the Money in the Bank ladder matches were both entertaining. They were very entertaining. But here's the thing. When I know that in the back of my mind, what the reward is, the stipulation is, that's what kills it for me. That's what ruins it for me. Because I know somebody's going to do a cheap cash-in to put the title on them. And it sucks when you got competitors that win that briefcase that have been a world champion before. And it's like, dang, They don't need to do a cheap cash-in. They can win it the legit way, like they've done so in the previous times. So, it just... Like I said, the whole Money in the Bank concept just... It sucks. Sucks to me. But... I'm just glad it's finally over. But... Yeah. As far as when the cash-ins and all that are going to happen, honestly, I don't know and I don't care. Because they're going to be cheap cash-ins. I mean, it's only been a few times that it's been a non-cheap cash-in for the men. But for the ladies, with the exception of Asuka, it's always been a cheap cash-in. So, just keep that in mind, y'all. Keep that in mind. And if you're okay, like, I'll just say this. I'll say this, and then I'll let it go. If you are a true Io Sky fan, Io Sky, Io Shirai, whatever you want to call her. If you are a true Io Sky fan, then you really should not be okay with the idea of her doing a cheap cash-in. Like either a pre-match ambush or cashing in right after a match has ended or after a post-attack or whatever. Y'all should not be okay with that type of outcome for Io Sky. If y'all are true Io Sky fans, y'all know what she's capable of. Y'all know she's one of the best in the world. And for her to succumb to doing a cheap cash-in just to put the belt on her, y'all know dang on well that is beneath her. I'm sorry, I gotta call it out. If you're a true Io Sky fan, you should not be okay with this and the idea of her doing a cheap cash-in. You should not be okay with it. But I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm done because I want to get out of this filth of a pay-per-view and move on to bigger and better things. So, don't forget to check out Game Beauty. Like, comment, subscribe. Leave, let me know what your thoughts are if you'd like. But yeah, y'all pretty much already know how I feel about Money in the Bank, so don't be surprised. Anyway, thanks for watching. It's for another Pro Wrestling Talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the YouTube Tube. I'm Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Y'all go watch something better than Money in the Bank. Get that filthy taste out your mouth. I'm going to do that as well. And besides, got Stardom to look forward to. So, enjoy. Laters. Love y'all anyway.